Happy New Year. My name is Beth and I'm a trauma-informed intuitive tarot reader. You might have found me from TikTok. I am IntuitivelyBeth over on TikTok. But I'm so excited to be doing some tarot readings for you on YouTube now. My plan is to be posting readings every Sunday, but we're going to be doing some extra readings as we head into the new year and just kind of get things started for 2025. So what we're going to do first is a reading about the overall themes that you can expect in 2025. It is for my TikTok subscriber collective. That's kind of the intention I'm putting out there. So if you're not subscribed, just subscribe to the channel so that you're part of this collective that I read for going forward. And I really appreciate you being here. So thank you so much, Spirit. What is the big overarching themes for 2025 for my YouTube subscriber collective? The overarching themes for 2025 for my YouTube subscribers. The overarching themes for 2025 for my YouTube subscribers. Thank you, Spirit. What are the overarching themes for my YouTube subscribers for 2025? That one came out fast. Let's see. I feel like it's not done yet. Let's see what else we have. Big overarching themes for 2025. I'm gonna take that one crossed. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Spirit. Big overarching themes for 2025. Okay, I'll take that card too. This one and this one. Perfect. Okay, let's take a look and see what we've got. Just on the bottom of the deck to get us started, I do see the Fool. So that makes sense. It's a new year. It's a new beginning. I'm just immediately hearing like it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. So like I do like that, right? Like that song, it comes out with like, and I'm feeling good. So I do think that's good. Of course, it's not going to just be like all sunshine and rainbows in 2025. There's lots of big themes in 2025 of change, but I am seeing a lot of really good things here. So I want to start off with the very first card that I have is the Three of Stars. So this is a lot about actually growing in your craft. So whatever that is for you, like your career, it could be some other like part of your life that you are like, I'm getting like, it might be really diving into a hobby that you're turning into a business. It could be other things that you're doing like philanthropically that you're like doing more of. You might be taking on more like mentorship roles. I'm also getting like this reminder that there's a lot of times that you work on stuff alone. And when this is just like an overall message for 2025, there's a lot of things that you work on alone. But when you are trying to level up, don't forget that there are other people that can teach you. There's times when you might need to collaborate. And ultimately, I do get that like a lot of what you're seeking, you are going to be able to do on your own. And a lot of like the growth that you're going to have is like you're going to have a lot of periods of time where like you are transforming a lot like personally, individually, but don't forget to also call in and connect with others that can help you along the way. That is the big message with the Three of Stars. Next, I see the Lovers coming out. Okay, so this certainly can mean a big love, romantic love connection for you. It tying it into the Three of Stars a bit, it can also talk about how you choose the types of connections that you want that are like very divinely guided, but you still get to choose who you want to have in your life. So, you know, are there times when you should collaborate with somebody, and are there times where you should kind of be in your own space? I am getting also with the Lovers there, like something, just a couple things that are standing out here is that not every loving connection or every possible connection that comes in for you is going to be in your highest good. There is definitely a part around like, sometimes we can be tempted by something that's not truly for us. And so sometimes things will come into our path and we're not going to see exactly how it's meant to be in our path. Or why it was meant to be in our path, and that will kind of come later. I feel like there's going to be times where you're not clear on your path or why something is in your path, especially with the Two of Crystals and the Flower of Life coming out together here. It does seem like there's going to be connections, there's going to be occurrences, events that happen that sometimes you're going to interpret as negative at first, and you're going to realize that actually that sets you onto the right path. And there's going to be times where you think that something is actually quite positive, and you're kind of blind to the real reason that something is there. It's more a lesson than it is a blessing. The lesson is the blessing in a way. So sometimes there's things that are coming in that are intentionally to disrupt, and so that then you can get back onto the right path. So it's like I think that there are times where you're also just like accepting what's coming in instead of letting yourself be a little bit more like discerning. Okay. And so I think that that's also, if you're not sure, maybe that kind of comes back to the 3 of Stars, where if you're not sure if something is for you, ask somebody whose advice you can trust, because I'm just seeing, especially with that 2 of Crystals in the Flower of Life, there's times when your discernment is kind of lacking and you're just like, oh, they're here because it's meant to be. And like maybe somebody comes into your life and there is a really big reason, but it's not necessarily the reason that you think. And so that's really important, because I'm also seeing, following that, the Star card. And so another big theme of 2025 is releasing what's no longer for us, and knowing where to pour into, right? So it's like releasing what's not for us and pouring into things that are for us. There's a lot of healing with the Star card, and a lot of transformation, and the Star came right before the Empress. So there's a lot of divine feminine energy here. I wouldn't be surprised, especially, I mean, a lot of my collective in from TikTok is oftentimes more the divine feminine. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens here. We'll see how it evolves. You can let me know if you identify more as like more of a feminine energy or more of a masculine energy in the comments. But I am seeing kind of embracing that divine femininity. And that could be no matter what your gender is, no matter whether you identify more as feminine or masculine, that maybe you are just still appreciating the feminine energy. I do see that being like a big transformation. There is a lot of Aquarius energy here, and we do have Pluto has transited into Aquarius. We're going to have Pluto in Aquarius for the next almost 20 years. This is a big collective energy and is really like a revolution. It's a lot of shifting in how we view things. And so I do see that like starting to impact us more in 2025, with the Star card being an Aquarius card. Then we have on the Page of Stars, the Aquarius constellation. The World card also has the Aquarius constellation on it. So those are just some of the things that are kind of making me get some of that Aquarius energy here. There is just in general a lot of like air sign energy as well. With the Page of Stars, it's also showing me that you can manifest a lot of new things, especially kind of coming back with the stars, coming back to the 3 of Stars. There's a lot of ability to grow financially, in your career, in kind of your soul's purpose as well, though. Okay, so I think a lot of times we think about, you know, what we do as like our career, but I feel like that might actually be part of what you transform. What you do might be how you show up in your community. What you do might be how you give back. And your purpose and your career might not currently be aligned, and that actually might be something that you decide to kind of change. And that maybe there are ways where your purpose is more aligned with your career, and that's something that you might be able to find more in that. And that can even come back to the Lovers. Like, are you choosing work that it feels divinely connected, sacredly aligned for you? Same thing with the 2 of Crystals and the Flower of Life. That does seem like something. So if you're feeling very unfulfilled in your career, it does seem like this is an opportunity to make some of those changes, or at least start exploring what other possibilities might be out there for you. And that when you do that, I do see like that there's financial reward. There's a lot of abundance here with the Empress. If you've also been thinking about starting something new, like birthing a new project or something like that, the Empress is also showing me that there is a lot of fertile ground for you in that. There's a lot of ability to have new adventures, new projects. I see also the Ace of Wands has come out, and that's also about new beginnings and passion and having this inspiration to do that. It's interesting with the World card coming out crossed. So this is the World is the final card typically in like the major arcana. I said typically because in my deck I have a couple bonus cards like the Flower of Life and the Self card, but the World card is like the end, but it's also the beginning. But like it's like the World, then the Fool card. So we saw the Fool card on the bottom of the deck, the 0, and the World is a completion of a cycle, but starting a new cycle as well. It can indicate like big changes, like big life events, maybe a graduation or a big promotion or a big move or a marriage or having a child. Like it can indicate some of those really big events. But with it coming out cross, what it kind of is indicating to me is like, of course there's a big change because it's a new year, but I think that there's a lot of momentum moving you forward through 2025, so that I'm anticipating that it's like in 2026 you end up having some really big life events. So like 2025, maybe let's say you like meet your new partner in 2025, the marriage is in 2026, just as an example. Or you like decide that you're gonna start a new business, so you go through like the training and things like that in 2025, and maybe like it takes off in 2026. Or maybe you are getting married in 2025, and so then maybe in 2026, like you buy a house or you have a kid or, you know, something like that. It's like there's like on the way, the momentum towards this like very big new life phase. So it's kind of like 2024 to wherever you ended 2024 to kind of like where things are in like early 2026 feels very significantly different. And that's happening because 2025 is like a lot of like moving through. So it's not like spiraling, and it's not like a hamster wheel. It's almost like, but it feels like you're kind of doing these like loop-de-loops in a way to go through, but like you do end up like much further in the direction that you're going towards. And so I think that there's times when you are going to feel like you're not making progress, and it's a reminder with the Hierophant card, especially with the Hierophant card really coming out right underneath the Two of Crystals and the Flower of Life. When you're like not sure, like how does this all fit together, that everything does fit together for a reason. The Hierophant card is like staying committed to that path, believing in yourself, asking Spirit for divine guidance. And frankly, I do think that a big part of your 2025 themes are related to tuning more into Spirit. Like I said, your purpose, feeling truly connected to what you're doing in all areas of your life, your relationships, your career, how you spend your time, your healing, you know, all of that is, and connecting that back to Spirit. And that your spirituality, I think, is part of what also continues to push you forward with the Ace of Wands. There's times when you do feel kind of stuck, and the Ace of Wands energy propels you forward, but it seems like it's being powered, like the fuel of that spark is coming from Spirit. So when you feel like you don't have like willpower, when you tap back into your spiritual self can push forward that 3D version of yourself. I do see a lot of change with 3D, again, just coming right back to that 3 of Stars. I see a lot of change. I see a lot of progress. I see a lot of that, but there's always going to be ups and downs throughout the year. I will do more readings that look at kind of what to expect maybe in like each month of the year, some big themes throughout the year, and we'll dive into specifically like all the different aspects of life as well. But I just really wanted to get the overall themes for 2025 for you. And that seems to be a big one, finding that like anytime when you're struggling to come back to Spirit and use that to like give you the courage and the spark to like reignite. Yeah, Ace of Stars on the bottom of the deck. This is just another indication with like starting the new beginnings, new manifestations, and like using your spirit to fuel the 3D. And lots, the Nine of Stars, the Queen of Wands, and the Hermit on the bottom of the deck as well now. The Nine of Stars is somebody who is very like financially successful and is really like that. It just seems like you're becoming more independent and stronger in that area of your life. The Queen of Wands is also somebody who's done a lot of healing, and she's really just like, she knows who she is. And she's not afraid of her shadow side. It's almost like her darkness and her willingness to look at her own shadows and dark is what also helps her to glow even brighter. It's part of what makes her even more beautiful. There's a lot of courage coming forward here too. A lot of like really being true to yourself. I'm feeling a lot of solar plexus chakra energy coming forward here. And that's your gut, and like just really feeling like you can be confident, be true to who you truly are. And with the Hermit card as well, it's like because you have done that introspection and you are letting spirit guide you, and that is like the wisdom that you seek to then propel you forward in this life, and in this 3D realm. Let's see if there's any final messages for the big themes for you in 2025. Any final messages for the big themes for this subscriber collective for 2025? Thank you, Spirit. The Magician coming forward. See if there's anything else. Judgment and Two of Stars. Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck as well. Okay, so now we've seen several aces. We have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Stars, and the Ace of Cups all coming out. So there's a lot of manifestation energy here, a lot of new beginnings. We had seen the Fool, which is a new beginning. The Magician is another 1 card. So there is kind of coming back to the world where it's like there's some stuff that is kind of carrying over and like going with you, but there's a lot of stuff that I think you're leaving behind in 2024 because you're calling forward new energy in 2025. The Magician is also this idea of like as within, so without, as above, so below. And so I think that another kind of message here is like connecting both to your future and your past, and that like loop-to-loop concept that I was talking about of like, you know, if you're trying to move forward, you're bringing some things from your past with you, but some things from your past have to be left in the past, and then you're going to have like a new thing of what's the past that goes into the new future. And it's like when you're in the present moment, thinking about what do you need to do to heal your past? What do you need to do to set yourself up for the future? Because all of that is existing at the same time in this moment. I know that can be kind of confusing, but that's what I'm getting. And that like when you are struggling with your like the world in front of you, to try to come into your internal world and find the beauty there. And when your internal world is struggling, use the external world to help you to find that beauty, to come back into your internal world. That's the as within, so without. And there is a lot of manifestation ability here. There really is. There's a lot of ability for change. A lot of ability for change. I'm also seeing the Judgment card. The Judgment card is Pluto, and I was talking about how Pluto in Aquarius is going to lead to a lot of change. With the Two of Stars, the Two of Stars and the Judgment card actually came out together. We see the infinity symbol above the Two of Stars and in the Magician, so that also seems significant, and even kind of that looping concept. And with the Judgment card and Two of Stars coming out together, what I'm also getting is this idea of really choosing your priorities and like regularly reassessing your priorities. Maybe that's something that you're doing every month. Maybe it's with every new moon, whatever kind of way you like to operate your life. Like it's like coming back to that World card being crossed though, that like there's lots of opening and closing of cycles and doors. And the Two of Stars is a lot about priorities. And so there's times where you're going to need to reevaluate your priorities and continue to check in on like, is my mind, my body, and my spirit aligned? I think that's a lot of this too, the alignment. Do you feel aligned in your mind, body, and spirit? And when you're not feeling aligned like that, then what part is off, and what do you need to do to get it back in alignment? Honestly, that kind of feels like these three as well. Like how, if you're trying to manifest, what part of you doesn't feel like on board, and what do you need to do to get it on board? Or is it telling you something so that it tells you this isn't for us? And I also think that as Pluto is an Aquarius and you're I think this is also an invitation for you to change your viewpoints and your priorities globally. I see 1010 on my timer right now as I'm talking about this. 1010 is also like cycle ending, and even the judgment card, it's 20, but it's like 1010. New cycle ending, cycle beginning, world card theme, very much there as well. Okay. And so I think it's okay. Like, it's this invitation that you're going to be exposed to some new ideas, some new ways of thinking, some realizations about how the world has operated, things that you took for granted, maybe ways that you've been privileged, that you're going to be exposed to those things. And it's an invitation for you to kind of reevaluate what you thought was important, what you thought was forgiven, what you thought was, just natural or something, part of life, and realizing like, actually, this isn't how I want to live anymore. This isn't actually natural. This is a system that we've been a part of, and I want to change this. And it might take time. It might take a lot of time, but this is something I want to participate in. And I'm getting kind of like that, like, revolutionary aspect. And the way the revolution starts is by transforming your mindset, transforming your perspective, so that you can kind of have this shift. So that feels very significant as well. There's an element of like staying committed to who you are, but that doesn't mean staying committed to beliefs that you have new evidence of being not true anymore. Okay. And I'm getting that especially with the way that I just happened to put the judgment card, the 2 of stars, on top of the Hierophant. Sometimes we need to let go of outdated systems of beliefs that maybe were very core to who we thought we were, but our moral compass is guiding us somewhere else now. New information is informing us of something different, and it's okay. Coming back to that 3 of stars, it's okay when you learn something new to allow yourself to elevate. It's okay to let new teachers come in and show you the truth, right? It's okay to release what's no longer for you and pour into something new so that you can grow and move yourself forward. And that seems to be another significant part of 2025. So I hope this helps. Let me know if it resonated for you, and I'm really excited to have you on this channel with me.